Hello, everybody. Get this camera straight. Let me see. Hi, everybody. It's Michelle, and welcome to Michelle's Magical Monday. It is stark-ravingly beautiful and crisp and slightly cold here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. So I would not call it sunny Orlando, Florida, although it was just very chipper and cold. Now, my northern friends, I love you guys so much. I am with you on your very, very low degrees this evening because, you know, it's chilly here, so I can only imagine what those below zero temperatures are doing to all of you. So sending warm and loving thoughts and to all my friends at the Full Moon Circle here in Orlando that are brazing out the cold. I wish you so much love and joy. I went out last night to watch the moon at midnight do the eclipse, and it was really cold. It was really cold. But it was amazing, really interesting. It was a new moon, a full moon. They call it a blood moon, and so watching the eclipse, it was kind of orange, kind of a peachy orange, like a salt lamp. And that was pretty cool, and it was a super moon, so it was really close to the earth. And it was so cool because it was right above my porch. I would just have to look straight up, so it felt like it was coming down like a star in the sky. So all this crisp, clear, cold weather made it extra visible. And the moon's beautiful tonight too, so I hope you're enjoying the full moon. If you're watching this later, enjoy the energy of this full moon, because it is about completing old cycles. This is the end of the Leo eclipses, the last one in Leo, and that means that we're completing things that have happened over the last couple of years. And so I've had a lot of people tell me they don't feel like New Year has really hit them yet. And I'm gonna tell you it's because this is really kind of more the end of old energy. So you're gonna get more New Year's feeling with Chinese New Year here in February. That's coming up with that new moon. Go you, Camille, healing on a friend's dad, sending love and healing out to all of you. And I just wanted to say that it's truly, hi Tiffany, it's truly a time for completing, a time for planning. I know a lot of people are feeling the feeling of overwhelm, or that this year just hasn't started out like super exactly the way you wanted it to. And I'm gonna say, don't give up. Don't go into a story about how this is gonna be a bad year. The number one thing I want to say is, do not, or please, rewrite your story. If you've had kind of a bumbling start to 2019, know that the energy is going to get better. It does have a lot of incredible chances. One of the cool things is there's no planets in retrograde right now. None, not one. And that will be true for the new moon that's coming up in February, and that's the Chinese New Year. So, you know, just kind of keep the faith. One of the things about perspective is you get to choose. The words that you start using is rewriting that story. Exactly. Rewrite the story of your life. Rewrite the story of your words. In fact, that's kind of the topic I wanted to bring on today, because I am only telling you this because this was the piece that has come through two things that I have learned in the last 48 hours to, actually one was in the last 48 hours and one was last Friday. So it's been about 4 or 5 days. I've had two massive epiphanies that are making it ready for me to help with my upgrade. So one of the things that we all go through as we are upgrading is a language change. We have to come up with a language change as we're ready to grow and ready to evolve. And that's actually the card I pulled today, evolution. So the card of the day is evolution. And to get into human conscious, we must evolve. And as we are growing and changing and learning, we also must evolve our languaging. And one of the things I work with every time I'm about to make a level up is a new set of language. And one of the things that came up recently was I've had a few things happen since the first of the year. And they've hit me, a little bit financially. They've hit me a little bit in my control button. They've hit me a little bit in my just, this isn't the way I want to live my life. But instead of saying it that way, I was saying struggle, right? I was saying, I'm feeling this struggle. I'm struggling through quicksand. I'm struggling through my circumstances. And that's what they are. They're just circumstances. And so the wording needs to change and evolve and grow. Anyway, the things that are evolving, we are needing to evolve our words. So I reapproach the I am. So the I am is the most powerful two words, and whatever you put after it is really the energy that you're going to bring in and the energy that you're gonna create. So with the I am, you want to be really careful. And so when I was saying I'm struggling, I really need to change it to my circumstances are a little bit rough right now. And then I go, oh, but that's not really what I want to say either. The truth is my circumstances, I am calling my circumstances to catch up with my spiritual self. So circumstances happen, and instead of being I am tired, I am overwhelmed, or I am struggling, you want to be I'm in the mystery. I am calling in a new way of being. I am getting an upgrade right now. I'm going through some changes. Those are the ways you want to rewrite your story. So you're going to kind of actually catch yourself in the wording and start saying it differently right then and there. And so like an exercise that I'm going to challenge you to do is look at your I am statements that you want to let go of this year. So my level that I worked with a few years ago was I am tired. That was always my thing. I was always tired. I was always busy, and I was always tired. And so those were the two that I let go of a few years ago. And so this year it is I am struggling and I am overwhelmed. Those are the two that I'm refocusing on this year. So maybe look at your I ams, pick 3 to change and create new ones. The absolute best new wording is I am plenty. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of money. I have plenty of, I am certain that everything I need is coming right away. I am certain that even though I'm in this situation, it's gonna change. I am certain that something from this is growing and evolving. I am certain that it's on its way. And I get that directly from Hallie, She Transformed. So I posted a couple of videos yesterday or the day before. I highly recommend that you go to her site and watch this series of videos that she's doing. And ironically, she's doing them on Mondays too. So I look forward to this week's new video. So she is really wonderful. So, so that's my challenge for you this week. The other thing that really hit me, we in Theta Healing, we change programs, and one of the programs that I realize that I have is that I really like to help people. I do it all the time. I actually find a great deal of joy being in service and helpful and teaching and growing and leading. And so sometimes when we are that kind of person, we don't like to say no. And I've done a lot of work around creating standards, policies, and boundaries so that I'm not taken advantage of, or I'm not giving more than I want to give, or I'm, just taking care of myself. And I found that I've hit it at about 80%. And the last 80% comes down to a program, an old program that I have that comes right from being a child. Do unto others as you would do unto you, meaning if you would put yourself into their shoes, and you were asking what they were asking, would you give them what you want them to have? Treat others like you treat yourself. And I love this. I don't want to change that program, except I've added something new, and I can thank Lisa Tony for this work that we did on Friday. And that is, I will do unto others what I would have done unto me. I would like to help others when and if possible, unless it hurts me or it takes away from my own experience in some way to the negative. So like 80% of the time I can say yes, but that 10 to 20% where it's going to, I no longer get to have the experience I was looking forward to. Or by giving to them, I'm actually taking deeply away from something that is mine, whether that is giving too much time, whether that's giving too much money, whether that is giving up an experience that I was counting on having by spending that time helping someone. We're usually really good about giving up our time, but there's this once in a while where there was something you were really counting on doing, something you really needed to do for yourself. And sometimes that's even just rest for yourself, that you just can't do it at that time that someone asks because it would be in detriment or harm you. So my answer is that I am now in the place where I'm going to ask myself, of course I would want to help them if I would ask that question and want someone to help me, but in this case, is it going to hurt me to help them? Is it going to take away from me or my experience to help them? That's the new question. That's the new piece of my boundary and my new set of policies and standards. So if that means saying yes to a client at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night when I have a class early the next day, or if it would mean taking a client on my only day off for 10 days or something along that line, then I would say no. So it was huge. And I know it sounds kind of simple, maybe even extra simple, but it's powerful. And I've only had it implemented since Friday, and it's Monday. And I've already said yes 5 times more often than I've said no to requests for things that people have wanted from me. But the one no that I made, I felt really good about and strong about saying. And ironically, somebody else was able to do exactly what was being asked of me. And it kind of worked out better for everybody. I got some quiet, relaxing time, and these other 2 people got to be together, and it took care of everything. So, sometimes you can create a win-win. And since this is a 3-year, and for those of you who are watching that don't know what that means, you add up the 2 and the 1 and the 9, and it ends up being a 12. So it's a 12-year or a 3-year, depending on whether you dumb it down to the last number. So 3 is a body, mind, and spirit year. And so for it being a 3-year, I love the fact that I get to make it a win-win-win situation. I am looking for things that truly make the win. And so often we think of win-wins, but there's usually a third component. And so it might be a win-win and a lose. So I'm looking for win-win-win. Everybody wins, everybody is happy, everyone is resolved. And if there is a time when it comes down to me or another person, it's okay. And this is something I want you to look at. If it is you, it is sometimes okay to put yourself and your needs and your expectations first. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you self-aware. It makes you have to be okay to take care of other people. You have to be okay to be in your highest level of service. You have to be okay to be at your highest level of transformation personally. So just remember that this is the year to find that balance of you and them and us. The balance of masculine and feminine, which is the giving and the receiving, to the union. And, what must come out must also come back. So we're working on overflowing our fountain and rewriting our story. The last thing I wanted to just touch base on this week about story is if you're going to write your story with gratitude. Look at how far you have come this year, in the last year. Look at how far you've come in the last 6 months. Look at how far you've come in 5 years. And if maybe you're in worse circumstances, look at how far you've come emotionally. Maybe you're handling something better than you ever handled it before. So look at what you have. Look at what you can be in control of instead of what you can't be in control of. Another piece of takeaway from Hallie this week in her video, it was just brilliant. She was talking about how we have all these addictions, and the biggest addiction, the hardest one to get rid of, the biggest addiction that we have to overcome is the addiction to control. Sometimes the only thing we get to control is our own thoughts, our own choices, and sometimes it's only that we can control how we think or feel about something. And so this is truly, for me, I get to be in gratitude for everything I have. What is the lesson here? What is the opportunity in this? What am I getting from this situation, this circumstance, this piece? So I'm so grateful and thankful now that this is in my life. And I get to control forgiveness. Have I released the need to be in revenge? Have I released the need to want something bad for someone? I can forgive them no matter what they've done or haven't done. I can forgive them for not being who I want them to be. I can forgive the circumstance for not being what I want it to be. I can forgive myself for not stepping up as far as I want to step up. And so what I do have control of is the choice of how I think. I have the choice of how I feel. And that's a perspective change. That goes right back to changing the story and writing the story. Instead of calling yourself the victim or calling yourself, in my case, I was choosing struggle. So instead of you saying I'm struggling right now, I get to choose that I don't have to feel struggle. I get to feel surrender. I get to feel faith that the universe has my back, that everything that seems like it's out of my control really is going to come full circle and serve me. And everything that is not the way I would have had it be if I were writing out my perfect day, I get to look at what did I get to learn? How did I grow? How did I show incredible grace in a situation that 5 years ago I might have thrown something. I used to be a thrower. I don't know about anybody else, but I used to throw things. I like to throw pillows or papers or crystal. I like to see things break when I was mad. And my nose is itching, so I don't know who's out there thinking about me, but I'm thinking about you too. So I can just say that I no longer, when these things happen to me, have these like total meltdowns. I don't have these like 5 days of like crankiness that precedes getting better. Camille, can you tell me in what regard? I'm not sure what your question is. It's a little hard to read tonight because it's a little dark in here. So if I don't answer it tonight, if you send me some comments, I might do a whole session on it next week. So Camille's question is about soul contracts. I'm not sure in what way that pertains out of context. So if I don't answer that question tonight, I will try and come back and around and answer it on another Facebook Live. I promise, Camille. Happy birthday, Brian Ryder. I know it was your birthday week. Hi, Tracy. I would love it if you could come to England with us. If anybody is interested we're getting ready to try and finalize the last people going to England and Scotland. So if you are interested in going to England and Scotland over the summer of 2019, doing magical things with magical people, please do a discovery call with me. If you are interested in the Weekend Warrior program, that is where I'm doing Theta Healing classes on the weekends to have you hit the Theta Healing certifications of a spiritual life coach. Then please get a hold of me. I also have some great classes. If you are a Theta healer and you've missed any class that I teach, and I teach 17 of them, I am running them all one by one here in Florida this year. So disease and disorder, world relations, plant-animal communications, soulmates. There is an opportunity, if you are not a Theta healer, to talk to me about the soulmate stuff. I am teaching all the Theta Healing courses, DNA 3, all through the next few months. So one by one, every single Theta Healing class in order. Kind of cool. So if you're interested in something, please let me know. But those of you who are out of town or not a Theta healer, what I will tell you is that you can always download the My Odyssey app and get free meditations. We'll be putting things on there. I do have something very special coming up. I'm not quite ready to announce it, but I do have something, an online program of my soul level work that I'm going to be bringing forward to everybody. That is going to be exclusively online. It is going to fall under healing and magic, and it's going to be quite something. So that's coming up this year. So many good things, so much exciting stuff. So hi everybody. Norm. Hi Norm. We have so many great we have so much greatness in the year 2019. So again, I say don't give up. And one of the best exercises, if you're still feeling like you haven't gotten clear on your focus for this year, it would be a good time to actually review in hindsight 2019. Take a piece of paper and write out at the top of at the top of a journal, like 12 pieces of paper, January, February, March, April, May, all the way through the year, and go through and look at the highlights and the lowlights and the lessons. So it's 3 points: the highlights, the lowlights, and the lessons. And at the end of the year, you go through and you look for themes: highlights, lowlights, and lessons. And the lowlights will probably bring you to a lesson. The highlights will probably bring you to your next journey and help you with your gratitude for how far you've come. It's really a powerful expression. And then another thing to do is, if you haven't done your goal setting, do a goal setting that's through the summer. You know, a 6-month goal setting. Sometimes we like try and push too much into the year. And I like to pick 3 aligned goals for the first 6 months, for the first half of the year. So it's a great time to do that. It's a really good time to do that, is right now. I do tend to do that right before Chinese New Year, because that's just, even though we do our New Year's goal setting, I just feel like the whole month of January is good for goals and for contemplating. And this eclipse has kind of put us in the place of a new energy going forward. And so I love the fact that we have a new moon right at the early part of February. And so this next 2 weeks is kind of the void in between the big eclipse and before the new start of an energetic new year. So it's a good time. And I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. I hope that I've shared and expressed some things that have given you some food for thought. So rewrite your languaging. The best thing is to be very careful with the I am statements, and maybe make some mantras. My couple favorite words for this year is the year of plenty, the year of oneness, the year of wholeness. And so you can say something like, I have plenty of money. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of love. And I was just working with a client this evening right before I came on, and we came up with a mantra that was freaking awesome, which is, I am worthy enough to have plenty of money. Oh my God, isn't that a great one? I am worthy enough, I'm good enough to have plenty of time and money. I am good enough and worthy enough to have time, love, and money, which is sort of the triquetra of everything we're looking for this year. So if it's a 3-year, I like to have 3 different things into my mantra. So love you, Sage. I love all of you, everybody that's on here, Camille, and just everybody that watches. You guys have no idea how grateful I am for all of you, your love, your support. If you are looking for a grand setup for this year, I have a $125 get your 2019 going in the right direction coaching session that is kind of designed to align you with the energies of 2019, that is designed to give you the wording that's customized for you. So we create some mantras, we create a game plan, and we create some exercise. Oh, thank you, Camille. I love you too. I love you more than you know. So if that is something you're interested in, just private message me. One last weird piece of business, my emails are still down. The Michelle at michelleorwick.com or info@michelleorwick.com. So you can private message me or send me a Facebook message here. That's better than sending an email right now. We should have that fixed in the next few days. So love and magic, guys. Love and magic. So I hope that you have a great week and that you are inspired to forward momentum, that you are ready to rewrite your story, and that you have a big old, heart-shaped piece of me coming your way. So, dear hearts, have a wonderful, wonderful week and live magically.